What's going on, good people out there in the world? My name is Kevin,
And I'm J Mac,
and we are the
the
Faraway
Fallway
Brothers.
Brothers.
Now, the music you just heard in the beginning of this track here is music by Jay Sparks called High School Crush. Up and coming artist from New Orleans, Louisiana. Really good melodic music. Remember, if you want to get on the Faraway Brothers podcast, just hit us up by putting something in the link down below or just hitting us up on our Twitter. We'll put your music in one of our videos. Without further ado, J Mac, let's get down to a few topics we're going to talk about today. What do we have on
There
the
we go.
list?
Man, we have a few things we got to talk about. A few things happened this week that we want to just smash into. First, I think we're going to jump into, they got that Dez Bryant situation. We just seen that Dez Bryant, we always like to start off the podcast with a little bit of sports. And Dez Bryant just got his money. So we need to talk about that.
Yes, Dez Bryant, one of the best wide receivers in the game of football, has finally signed a big deal with the Dallas Cowboys. Do he deserve it? Hell yes. Is he going to get the money and do what he's supposed to do with it? Of course he will. Does he have the stats to back up this? Of course he does. Looking at Dez Bryant, we see nothing but perfection in a wide receiver. Last season, he beat every other season he's had in the league with the most yards in the game, 1,300 games, 15 yards average, 82 yards per game. Just killing the game as a wide receiver. And the big thing that stands out to me with Dez Bryant is the fact that his hands are only matched by only a couple receivers other in the league. And he has no fumbles. So you can depend on his hands when he does catch the ball, since he is known for getting yards after catch, that yak. He's not even going to drop the ball on the ground. He's very dependable wide receiver all around when it comes to Dez Bryant.
First of all, I don't even know why it took this long for the Cowboys to say, let me give his money. They try to come up with different excuses. They try to say, oh, well, he might be a problem off court. Okay, well, this might be it. Oh, you don't give him because of this. Only give him because of that. Nah, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, they juking the man when the man was catching all them balls from Tony Romo that he was throwing all crazy. They might as well give this man his money. It made sense for them to give his money. They gave their money. They gave the money to Tony Romo, who, at the end of the day, I don't think Tony Romo really deserved a big time contract like that. But that's for a different subject. But Dez Bryant deserved this money. Now, me looking at this, I'm saying that Dez Bryant should have gotten more. Throwing that out there. Now, Calvin Johnson signed an 8-year extension worth over $132 million. Dez Bryant, to me, at this point, is better than Calvin Johnson. Okay?
That is
I'm sorry.
Argument. That's a big argument.
That's a big argument?
That's huge balls on your part, sir. First of all, number one, the only reason why I would say this is because of the physical attributes of Dez Bryant. But you got to think about Megatron here. We're talking about Megatron. Megatron catches over everybody. Tremendous hand. Great ball handling skills. Able to get open. Creates the space. Gives people a window to throw to. Makes Matthew Stafford looks like the Drew Brees, the Peyton Manning, the Walter, all these people that he's able to make him look like. So in my eyes, I can't see that, Dez Bryant could get paid more than a Calvin Johnson on that part of speed. Now, Dez Bryant is great. Don't get me wrong. Dez Bryant does deliver in the crunch, as we saw last year, which was the best opportunity that the Cowboys had at winning the ring in the next few years anyway, until everybody come knocking at the door saying, what's going on? It'll be my ring here. But Dez Bryant was able to take advantage of that. Now, I think his success this past season not only has a lot to do with him and the fact that the Cowboys were on a good run, but also you got to give it to DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray, with his running skills and the fact that that line was able to create so many yards on the ground, it opened up the passing game for Tony Romo to throw to Dez Bryant in the clutch when they did need that. So all in all, I don't think that Dez Bryant is a standalone receiver by himself. As far as like, okay, we're gonna put Dez Bryant out there. He needs a running game to back him. In Detroit, with Megatron, you got Reggie Bush. Okay, Reggie Bush has always been sketchy since he played for the Saints. He's always delivering here and there. Now,
don't you be disrespectful.
I'm gonna go on it. I'm gonna be disrespectful. I'm gonna say it. Reggie Bush only delivers sometimes. He is not the guy you want to go to in a game for the clutch. He may fumble. and he's always going to get injured. So when you put that on the field with Matthew Stafford and Megatron, you put more emphasis on Megatron than you're going to put right there on Reggie Bush. So that by itself tells me that Dez Bryant is not better than Calvin Johnson. Still able to get those catches when it's hard, catching over 3 or 4 individuals at a time in the snow, rain, doesn't matter what it is. Megatron all day. Do I congratulate my boy over here, Dez Bryant, for getting that $32 million fully guaranteed in money, including $20 million signing bonus, and also a guaranteed salary of $3 million in 2015, $9 million in 2016? Yes, I congratulate him. A way to increase his funds? Yes, I congratulate him. Getting that money? Yes, I congratulate you, Dez Bryant. You keep doing what you're doing over there.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand what you're saying. I'm not knocking Calvin Johnson, but I watched a lot of Detroit Lions games, bro. A lot of their games where I felt Calvin Johnson didn't give his all to catch those balls. There was a lot of times I felt that the game was in his hands, that he went out there and played and didn't play up to par. He didn't play up to the potential of a guy that's going to make, with the 8-year deal, that's going to be over $132 million. That's all I'm saying. Now, Dez Bryant go out there on a daily basis, on a nightly, daily, evening, afternoon, whenever you want him to go out there on a Monday night, he's going out there giving his all. And I felt like they should have gave him more. Now, you know what? Let me take it back and say I'm not going to knock Calvin Johnson. But I do think Dez Bryant deserves Calvin Johnson money, at least close to Calvin Johnson money.
Are you out of your mind?
He's that style of player to me.
I think you've lost it. Fully lost it. Let's just think about this. Let's put apples and oranges to rest right now. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Basically, is what you're telling me this man deserves the same money as a guy that has to work twice as hard to get his catches, twice as hard to get open because he has no one else on his team to make a distraction happen. There's no one else in the Detroit Lions organization that you're going to put out on that field and they're going to say, I'm going to take my eyes off of Calvin Johnson. No one. Not Tate, not Reggie Bush, not anyone at all. But when you look at the Dallas Cowboys, or look at the Dallas Cowboys, what I want you to do is look at them, look who you got on the squad. Check out how many people can distract for Dez Bryant to do what he has to do. He doesn't deserve Calvin Johnson money.
Give me them names. I want them names. Give me the roster.
You're looking at DeMarco Murray, right? You're looking at James Witt, right? You're looking at just
Jason Witt?
Yes. You're looking at Jason Witt. My bad for name call. But yes, you're looking at all these great people around him. Come in, you got a tight end. Everybody needs a tight end that can catch. But when you got a tight end that can catch out the backfield like Jason Witt can, you don't have to really have too much stress on the Dez Bryant. You don't have that much stress. You got less stress on this man, then he deserves less stress money. You got more stress on Calvin Johnson, he deserves more stress money. Bottom line. Has he proven himself to be up there with the greats, Dez Bryant? Yes, he has. Does he deserve Calvin Johnson money? Nah, I don't think so. He got what he needed right there. That 5-year, $70 million deal that he did sign with the Cowboys. One of the best deals that I've seen around for wide receivers. You take that and run with it. That's all he can do.
To me, they're 1A and 1B at this point. There will be 1A and 1B at this point. It's not number 1 or number 2. They're both pretty much at the same level to me. They're both at the same level to me at this point. You cannot, this guy, Dez Bryant, is putting numbers. He's consistently catching balls. He's very passionate about the game of football. And that being passionate has nothing to do with it. But I think that he deserves to have close to Calvin Johnson's money, because to me, I feel like he makes the team more than Calvin Johnson. But we're gonna see that this year. Without DeMarco Murray, we'll see exactly what he does, and hopefully, we'll be able to see him flourish with the team. But I'm happy that he got his money. Really, all in all, I wanted to see the man get his money, and like you said, he got a $70 million contract, which is going to be 45 of that is going to be guaranteed. $20 million signing bonus. I'm glad to see guys when they get their just due. When guys get what they're supposed to get. Instead of guys getting what they're not supposed to get. Joe Flacco.
That's for another story. That is for another story. Joe Flacco, ladies and gentlemen, single-handedly destroying the Baltimore Ravens.
Speaking of competitions, we got your boy Shaq and Scottie Pippen, two of the greatest players, two of the 50 greatest players of all time, going at it on Instagram saying which one is the best. Now, I don't know if you saw this, but Shaq put up a post with Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Elgin Baylor, himself, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar up against D. Rose, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and Horace Grant. So what he's pretty much doing right there is saying these are the greats of the Lakers against the greats of the Bulls, and he's saying that they can beat them by 50 points.
Blasphemy. Blasphemy. 50 points. Are you kidding me? You kidding me? The great Michael Jordan losing in the game 50 points. That would never happen even in the history of basketball. It has never happened in the history of basketball and will never even be spoken of in dream basketball. I don't care if you're playing live, 2K. It's not going to happen. You're not beating Michael Jordan by 50 points. The allegation that Shaq is putting across basically is saying that the Lakers all time is way better than the Bulls all time. In my opinion, I don't think so. I think that the Bulls had more of a finesse to the way they played. And they've outplayed the Lakers in situations where it actually mattered. The finals. Putting Shaq on the team with Magic Johnson wouldn't have changed that game. It wouldn't have changed it. Michael Jordan still would have went in there and did what he did. If that was the case, Michael Jordan would have lost to Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic had some of the greatest players alive on that team when Shaq was playing for him. Jordan ran through them alone. Now you're talking about putting D. Rose, Scottie Pippen in the game as well. Like these people just have an art for taking care of the basketball, delivering it all around. And I don't think it's something that Shaq, Magic Johnson around that time can even handle. Now this is debate. I mean, it could be close, but I'm not gonna say that somebody's getting blown out of the water here. Shaq is making that obligation. I don't agree with Shaq. I'm gonna go with Scottie Pippen on this one, saying that the game would actually be close.
Yeah. Now, this is the thing. Shaq, to me, is the greatest center in the history of the game. And that can be in another discussion. We can do that one day. But he's the greatest center to me in the history of the game.
Debatable.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar does have one of the best, most unstoppable moves in the history of the game, which is the sky hook. He gets that off, it's going in. There's no way you blocking it, right? But it's kind of wishy-washy. It's kind of messed up to put D. Rose. Come on, you're going to have D. Rose guard Magic Johnson. Michael against Kobe. That we don't even have to discuss that, okay? Now, I know some people on here, or some people online going to say, no, Kobe could take him. We're not even going to get into that, okay? Not going to get to that with you right now. Elgin Baylor against Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen is one of the most underrated defensive players in the history of the game. A lot of people look down on Scottie Pippen, but Scottie Pippen was one of the best defensive players in the history of game. On top of that, he had his own offensive game that he can consistently score on a night in and night out basis. Now, he had some times where, you might have questioned his heart and his will to win, but Scottie Pippen was a big-time player at one point. When it comes down to Dennis Rodman, to me, he's actually in my top 5. If I had a starting 5, he's in my starting 5 players in the history of the game because this guy was so much of an assassin when it came down to getting those rebounds. One of the greatest small rebounders in the history of the game to me. Okay? Now, Horace Grant was what you would call a role player, and he was a good role player on many teams. He played with Shaq when it was playing for the Orlando Magic. He played for the Lakers. He played for a lot of different teams. He's not a pushover type player. Now, I'm not saying that the Bulls are going to beat that all-time Lakers team, but they damn sure ain't about to lose by no 50 points.
No, that's not gonna happen. And just looking at the lineup here, I mean, just matching up the people. The only weakness I see on the court between the two teams would be probably in the power positions, which is the power forward and that's even debatable. And the center position. I mean, but even that's debatable as well. Horace Grant had a lot more mass on him than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did, so I mean he gets more push. Where vice versa, you have Shaq going against Rodman, which is a lot more body mass as far as Shaq going against Rodman. But I think Rodman can handle the more physical game than Horace Grant can handle as far as that goes there. So even as much as Shaq would dish out in this competition, I think that Dennis Rodman will get more physical. And if you go by the old rules of the NBA, when you really could just get real physical with people and not call these sissy fouls that they call nowadays, then you have a ball game. We have ourselves a ball game. Move over to the four position and the three. You're looking at Baylor versus Pippen. I ain't even worried about this matchup. I say Pippen has this all day, even though I agree Allen Baylor was pretty good. I just think Pippen has this all day. And we still, once again, you're going to have to get into the argument about Kobe and Jordan. But all you have is what? Jordan and Jordan Jr. or Jordan wannabe Jr. It doesn't matter what it is or what people say about him. The Black Mamba is the Black Mamba, and Jordan is just Jordan. And he's always going to do what he's going to do in that department there. Now, another place I see kind of a hint there, I mean, Derrick Rose is not a big point guard as Magic Johnson is a huge point guard. You know what I'm saying? So him guarding him, it would be on the matter of if Derrick Rose has the defense ability to steal the ball before or make him go where he doesn't want to go. Otherwise, you're getting steamrolled at that point. So I mean, this is a good argument in my opinion. Shaq has brought up a pretty good argument, but not on the site of 50 points over the other team. It's not gonna happen. Just won't.
Yeah, and the thing that Shaq is like, I don't know if he's looking at this or if he even cares about this, but these guys, you talking about the Lakers team who had Lakers easily had over 9 Hall of Famers on their team, probably even more. In the history of the Lakers, I would say they had at least a team worth of Hall of Famers. Whereas when you look at the Bulls right now in the Hall of Fame, I believe they will only have 3 to 4 players. Derrick Rose, at one point, he had the potential to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know where his career is going to go. He did have the MVP season. I wouldn't say just off the MVP season that he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but he could have been a Hall of Famer. Listen, Michael Jordan finds a way. It was a flu game. He was sick. He found a way. He was tired in that last game against Utah. He found a way. So Michael is going to always find a way. If it's going to come down to, at the end of the day, if it's going to come down to Michael versus Kobe, and Michael has that last shot, or Michael has to defend Kobe for that last shot, I'm going with MJ. There's never a time that I'm not going to be with Michael Jordan.
Indeed.
So on this, the bad part about this is that we'll never be able to see this game. These are some of the games that you wish that you could just set up yourself and you could see these players play against each other. I know there's other games or other teams that they'll want to see players go against. But, I mean, this is good for argument. This is good for, barbershop talk. So it's good to me.
Say barbershop talk will take this to a whole nother level. Let's take that team the Lakers have right there, and let's go ahead and put them against the all-time Celtics. How about that? You want to go all out? We might as well do that too. We all know the Lakers and the Celtics history is pretty deep as far as that goes there. We could throw the Detroit Pistons in that all-time Detroit Pistons. Bad boys of the league. But we're not going to get into that. That's for a whole nother argument as far as that goes there. So closing out with that one there, we're running it right into actually music, man. Look, what's going on in music right now, J-Mac? Tell me what's going on.
Man, we got a lot that's going on in music. Meek Mill just dropped the album on he actually just dropped a brand new album, Dreams Worth More Than Money. It came out on June 29th of this year. Maybach Music. Oh, Meek Mill is making it happen, with the Dream Chasers and everything. He sold a lot. Within the first week, He actually debuted at #1 on the Billboard U.S. Billboard 200, selling over 214,752 units. That's big time in today's market. This is when guys right now are only selling 15,000, 50,000, possibly 70 to 80,000 records. Meek Mill came through out of jail and came with that heat and made sure that he was locking it down, letting the people know that he's back.
I mean, we looking at his record sales. I mean, you see, he got 246K. All right, whatever. Big whoop, 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 whoop. You hit the #1 chart. But who else came out with an album this week that could say that, man, or this month to say that they could compete with that anyway? You know what I'm saying? But just think about the whole year, across the whole year spectrum. I know he's doing good and everything, but how much of the success is Meek Mill's? How much of it is really Meek Mill's? How much more of a success is this might be for Nicki Minaj? Is she the booster? I'm kind of calling it. This is more the booster. When you look at the charts, you look at the numbers, you see that Drake sold 535K, Kendrick sold 363K, and you got Mumford & Sons selling 249K. So we're looking at right now these three artists coming out, doing it on their own, no spotlight, just throwing it out there. Drake just threw out an album out of nowhere. Okay, it was actually a Hail Mary. No one saw that coming. No one saw that at all. 535K though to get that started on the first week. To Pimp a Butterfly, 363. Everybody was expecting Kendrick Lamar to come out with a second album. Beast is his first album. My grade on this one, I think it's more of a B+. His first album, definitely an A, all the way. B+ on this album here. But in comparison to Meek Mill's, I shouts out to him. Did a good job with Dreams Worth More Than Money. Definitely worth the pickup as far as the buy. Not even the Spotify, the buy. Okay, go out and get that album. I still think some of his success is just due to, the Nicki Minaj factor. He needs to understand that. But I see him playing his role well. He's understanding that coming into his light. And he dropped a really, really good album there. Now, I will say one thing, man. SB, bruh, if you out there, sorry for you, man. Sorry for you. Because that album right there, yo, I ain't never heard nobody talk about nobody like that in the album right there. Besides Jay-Z's subliminal message on Beyonce a few times. That's about it. But the way Meek Mill talk about Nicki Minaj, I'm sorry, SB. But Meek Mills is a lyricist, has already been a lyricist. He's put in the category with the greats of this era. And he also is known for one thing, of course, screaming his lungs out, like he in the second seat of a drive-thru trying to scream his order to the other side. But, hey, man, who don't get you more crunk than Meek Mills around this time? Other than Future.
Boy, you said crunk. I ain't heard that in a long time.
Hey, but anyway, you gotta use old words, right? I'm 28.
We're going to go a little bit further. Now, listen, I don't think it's fully on Nicki Minaj. Because you have to understand, before Meek Mill went to jail, he was the most anticipated album of that year. But then he went to jail. So it stopped.
He wasn't dropping anything. Everybody was waiting on this man because of his mixtapes dropping, okay? You wasn't anticipated. We got people who wasn't even anticipated. First of all, Kendrick Lamar's was a little bit way more anticipated than this, in my opinion. Way more. I anticipated Kendrick Lamar way more.
I do think that he was more, Kendrick was more anticipated. But I'm talking about last year. People didn't think that Kendrick album was coming out last year. Last year was about Meek. I know a lot of people that I know was looking forward to Meek's album. And I don't think that it has... Now, do I think the Nicki Minaj factor helps? It does help a little bit. Well, it does help a lot of it, okay? It does help. But am I going to rest that all on that? No. I think that his lyrical ability, he's one of the only guys that's out there that's commercially successful as a street rapper. And I think people, there's people out there that's begging for that streetness to be be on wax.
So when you think about it, and this is just, of course, comparison in the game, who would you compare Meek Mills to 10 years ago? Meek Mills, you say he's more of a street rapper because he's street rapper that actually made it into the lyricals for the hip hop. Because a lot of other people just talk about the things. Of course, you got Drake. He has his soft side. Sometimes he go into the streets, which we know he's from the 6 with his woes. But back 10 years ago, or it just in history, who would you more compare Meek Mills to?
Let's say if you go back 10 years ago, I would say that his success that he's having right now as a street rapper is going to have to go on the lines of maybe a T.I. or a Young Jeezy. Because those would be your street rappers at that time. Now, I think T.I. and Young Jeezy, well, T.I. had more success than Meek Mill has had or will have. Oh, you know what? I'm not even going to say what that guy will have. You never know what he's going to have. But he has, to this point, has had more success than Meek Mill because he was way more, his brand was way more commercialized at that time. No matter what he was talking about, it was easier to sell T.I. than it is to sell Meek Mill. Meek Mill is finding his way to be sold in that way. And I think with these album sales, it's showing that he's building his brand. You're not looking at numbers from 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you'll look at those numbers, you'll say, that guy ain't even going to get a second album. But now, doing those type of numbers, that's big time now. Sad, but it's big time.
Now, not only that, let's just think about this. He is in MMG. Right now, he is the top selling artist for MMG this year. And period. He sold way more than Wale's album that just came out. He sold way more than even Mastermind, which was said to be one of Rick Ross's best albums to come out. So when you did say he's anticipated, I understand. I definitely see that right here in the facts, in the numbers. And we know numbers don't lie. So all in all, Meek Mills, great rapper, love his style. Keep it up. If I had to say anything, I would give this album more of an A minus on my scale, and my scale is pretty hard to please when it comes to this.
So but that's big. I mean, you giving them a damn good grade.
A damn good grade for my scale. That's what I'm saying. For my scale, and I've been known to give people Fs on scales of life. So understand that this right here, as far as his album for the 3 albums he's came out with, this third album to me is his best right now. Period.
Yeah, this is gonna be so this is Meek Mill's, this is the second studio album, right? Mm-hmm. And with this album, I can't give it that high of a grade because the first album had that intro. And because of that intro, he set the bar high. So if I had to give this album a grade, I would say overall about a B minus B in that area. I can't give it an A. When you're talking about anywhere, talking like A minus, A plus, you're talking about like that Kendrick album or that J. Cole album.
I'm talking about more of Meek Mill scale for what his albums have done. And the 2 albums that he's had, now I said third because I know mixtape. I go off of mixtapes too. I like to count mixtapes sometimes, even as albums, because they hold that weight. They make you jump in and buy into the album. Just how Wayne did back in the day. Yeah. He made you buy into his album with his massive amount of mixtapes, the massive amount of contents. These things actually felt like albums, which you maybe think that maybe he came out with an album almost every month. So with Meek Mill's in his mixtapes, counting as an album, I say on the Meek Mill scale, he still gets an A minus because his first album to me, I'm just saying, is more of a B minus to me. But we're not going to go there. Meek Mill's doing real good. Third best-selling rapper of 2015. Big shout-outs to him. Got the girl in his arms of everybody else's dreams. I know of my dreams. And he's just doing everything he's supposed to do. Moving on, man. Who else is on the charts right now? Tyrese is actually number 1 on the charts with his. He hit Billboard's number 1 with his new album. Tyrese is back in the game. But what does this mean for R&B?
R&B has it's been going on for at least 5. You can go even further back on how long R&B has been thrown to the wayside. R&B is kind of like, that old school guy, that old school player that's still chilling out in the clubs wearing the same outfit that he used to wear back in the day, trying to holler at younger girls. That's the way they treat R&B. He's that guy that's asking for change outside of the corner store. Okay, so I think that we need to bring. I mean, we need R&B back. We do need more R&B. We need more love songs. They need to be a balance. Like everything can't be about just going to the club, popping bottles, doing this, doing that, doing the same thing every week. They need more of a balance. The problem is you have a lot of guys who used to do R&B who want to be either rappers or who's using different type of lyrics in their song that's more on the rapper side. Like the rappers want to be singers, the singers want to be rappers. That whole type of thing. And I think it's a diet. It has pummeled the credibility of R&B. Like the guys like Chris Brown and Trey Songz and even the R. Kelly. A lot of these guys, they started cursing in their music, so it started to take away from the values that R&B has had in the past. But I do like to see that somebody like Tyrese can just come out right now and just have one of the top selling albums in the world, and it could be successful with R&B, man. I mean, I'm liking it. I'm really looking forward to listening to the album and seeing what he has on there. But I want to see R&B come back. I want to see guys sing about women and let them know what's going on. You have your Miguel's, you have your Bruno Mars, you have your you have your Ed Sheeran, you got your Neo, but sometimes, a lot of times, just like Usher, he has a few songs, and I'm a fan of Usher, but Usher starting to curse and say certain things like a rapper in his songs, and I'm like, man, I don't want to hear that rapper stuff from you. If I want to hear rapper stuff, I can go and listen to somebody else.
Like
so I want these, I want these guys to understand like the difference between them singing about what they're singing about and let them rappers rap about what they're rapping about. So I think that's the reason why not hip hop, but R&B itself has been so, pushed to the wayside. Like it's been buried, man. It's been buried for a while, and hopefully it can come back. And I like what Tyrese's doing, man.
Yeah, Tyrese, man. I mean, he comes, drops an album every now and then. Not more than the time that he made it Fast and Furious, but of course, we would love to see him drop more albums as such as he did. Very, very good tracks on healthy for the heart, healthy for the soul. Makes you want to go ahead and grab your girl and say, "Come here, baby." But other than that, man, we got Neo. He dropped the album this year. Miguel dropped the album this year. Out of surprise, Sierra dropped the album this year, even with everything going on. Of course, the father of the game, Charlie Wilson, dropped the album this year. So I mean, we do have some strong hitters in the R&B area. So I mean, it's gonna come to where it is. Of course, Trey Songz, he dropped his as well. It's Snoop Dogg. He wants to be an R&B person, but we all know that's not gonna be the case as far as that goes there. But I mean,
I won't lie to you. That Snoop got a few tracks on that thing. When he give a Pharrell, Pharrell be making them beats, be making you want to snap and do all of them things, But I don't know, man. Yeah, hopefully we can get some more music. They just don't have a lot of artists out there that's willing to be R&B artists. They don't want to sing to their women. They want to cuss them out. So hopefully we can get a lot of guys coming up and doing their thing, man.
Speaking of the debacles going on in the game right now, let's talk about one of the biggest things we have going on right now is Birdman throws looking at Lil Wayne while he performs in Miami. Birdman, Lil Wayne beef going to an all-time high. I haven't seen this coming in a long time. I probably predicted this way back maybe years ago when I saw Wayne go into another spectrum of life. But man, what is going on with Birdman and Wayne right now?
First of all, I need you to let me know a 46-year-old man throws liquor or throws water bottles or whatever he was throwing at somebody while they on stage.
He been listening to Stevie J. He been watching too much Stevie J.
I don't know what he watching, but you need to act your age, man, at this point and stop. Like, now it's becoming childish. It's either you're going to pay the man his money or let him off his contract. Let him go. Like, why go through this whole situation with Wayne? Why do Wayne like that? Out of everybody that you would have did this to in Cash Money, why would you do Wayne like this? dollars.
No, this ain't
It
even on the
makes
first occasion. This is not even the first occasion. He did it twice. Similar incident was reported back in February. Let's recall of him throwing liquor at Lil Wayne. So what you say is true. I mean, why do it to Wayne? Why Wayne? Why the person that put Cash Money on the map, kept him up there, kept you relevant, wrote music for you? Why put him out there like that? Why do that? Just pay the man his money and let the man go. You done made so much money off of Lil Wayne. Why not just get this man his just due?
Yeah, I mean, and then when you have a history of not paying people, that's the problem, man. When you just have a history of not giving people their money, it just, how you ever going to be able to do business like that, man? In the future, you're going to have a lot of other artists that's going to look at this and say, if this dude can do this to the biggest artist on his label who held him down and did everything possible that he can do for that label, bought him two of the biggest artists to that label and made more money with you, shared that money with you, and kept you relevant, then what would you do to me?
And yeah, that's why you see a lot of people with Cash Money signing and leaving. Based on the fact that they just want to be around Wayne is why they come around anyway. They see the success of Wayne and what he's doing with everybody else, like Drake, like Nicki Minaj, and they want to be around that. They don't really technically want to be around Birdman as far as what he's doing. I mean, because you see Birdman, he did bring out Wayne in the ways of a businessman. Yeezy is taking this a whole nother level. And going to do this thing out on his own, making his own thing, which is Young Money. And Young Money has been very successful with Weezy being in the forefront. Lil Louisiana is his own place right now. And Young Money sits right there on Lil Louisiana. Wayne's still coming back now. As you can see, a whole thing changed. Like Wayne's rap style has changed from when he started to leave Cash Money at this point and go back to Young Money and doing his own thing to when he was actually rapping with Cash Money, throwing out hot garbage every now and then. This is the old Wayne we know and love, spitting that hot fire, as if you want to call it that. But he's been on tracks, laying it down, making sure everybody knows why Lil Wayne is still relevant in the game, why Lil Wayne matters to Baby, why Lil Wayne is the man to come to when you want to sell records.
Yeah. And this guy totally changed, because people had to take it back to a time where when Juvie, Turk, BG, and a lot of those other guys weren't messing with Cash Money. Cash Money really didn't have a rapper that was a rapper. Wayne started to do the Squad Up thing, which started getting a little buzz in New Orleans. Well, actually had a big buzz in New Orleans. Everybody was listening to Squad Up, right? And then he came with the Young Money. When the Squad Up thing didn't work anymore, he came with the Young Money that was with Boo, that was with Currency, that was with Mac Man, and himself. They came and Raw Dizzy. And that's what really started bringing back like the Cash Money feel, especially when they came out with the Carter 1, then they came out with the Carter 2. Birdman was rapping during this time and coming out with albums. That's when he did the album and he did the little song, What Happened to That Boy and all that. And he was trying to do his rap thing. And those songs was buzzing. But when Wayne came out with the Carter 1, and then he came out with the Carter 2, it changed everything. It made everybody really draw back over to Cash Money and say, hold on, what they doing down here in New Orleans? Because around that time, a lot of people was going towards Houston. There was, they had Atlanta popping, 50 Cent and different people in different regions was popping at that time. They had The Game coming out around 2004. Wayne came out with Carter 1. Everybody was like, hold up, he's spitting on this. Carter 2 came around. Then it was like, oh yeah, we on this. Then he started dropping those mixtapes, which created a buzz for Cash Money, which made everybody want to say, hold up, let's go see what's up with Cash Money. It made different people want to sign with Cash Money. Yeah. Now you're creating an environment where if you lose Wayne, he might as well shut Cash Money down. Yeah, he might as well. At that point, he might as well just shut Cash Money down because it doesn't make any sense to even keep Cash Money going. Because who you gonna have on Cash Money, man? You have Juvie back, but at this point, are people really looking forward to a Juvenile album? I would be looking forward to a Juvenile album. I'm from New Orleans though. But people outside of New Orleans would really get that buzz to say, man, I gotta get that new Juvie album. He would Birdman in them. Nah, this gonna leave a bad taste in people's mouth. They're gonna say, okay, if he did that to Wayne, then we ain't messing with Birdman and them no more.
That's pretty much it right there. I mean, Birdman kind of signing and sealing his own deal with that one. Trying to put Young Thug at the forefront and make him the new Wayne is just like spitting in the face of the rap game. Because we all know that kid has no skills. But on another note, as far as that goes, that Baby is fully endorsing and going behind this guy, Young Thug. Not only that, he is going against fully with the Baby. You could tell the bad blood in between them two with you doing this twice. I mean, come on, who does this twice? And who wouldn't let the man, he already served you and he's contract at the contract, the money after money. Because when you really look at it, Wayne is the reason why Birdman gets that money. Not only the fact that he owns an oil rig out there, that's totally fine. But the reason why he was able to afford all that is because of Wayne's upcoming and upbringings of all the albums and mixtapes that he's put out. The Wayne being on tracks. Everybody had to have Wayne. Around 2005, there was no track that was out without Wayne.
And he
So
made people want to listen to a Birdman verse. Okay?
no one
All
wanted
those
to hear
times
him.
where Birdman was rapping on them songs, trying to get in the studio, Wayne was making them people listen to that Birdman verse. So he better be thanking Wayne that he even sold any albums. Because the only reason why he sold albums was because people thought that he was going to have Wayne features on it.
At the end of
Okay?
the day,
They didn't get like Father Like Son for Father. They got it for the son.
at the end of the day, you kissed this man on national television.
First of all, I wasn't even going to bring that up. But since you didn't did it, you owe this man. No, you owe this man money. Just get this man his money.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what kind of heartbreaking stuff this is, but in reality, man, you need this bad boy that you think you do. Instead of throwing all this lick at him, try to find a way to sign him back because when he leaves, so does your money leave. When he puts out a new album by himself and he takes Nicki Minaj and Drake with him and whoever else is on Young Money that hasn't put out an album yet, you gonna be mad. So at the end of the day, Birdman needs to just be a man and just talk it
Get
over
it.
with Wayne. Get the man,
Give this man his money.
get the man his money, man. Get the man his money so he can get back to making more money and make more money, more money. How Birdman said, the bread. Gonna get this bread.
Lot of money.
Lot of money. Lot of more money. Yes, indeed.
Please don't rap no more.
Please don't rap no more. Just throw your career away. Just be the man behind the desk, Birdman. We don't want to hear you rap about your millionaire, rich gang, rich girl. None of that. We don't want to hear none of that stuff. Your star on your forehead. We don't care about none of that stuff. I don't give a dang about your tattoos or what you're owning. At the end of the day, if you ain't putting out Wayne, then I ain't the same. It just ain't gonna be the same. And on that note, we closing out the episode, guys. Man, thank y'all so much for listening here. Again, we are the Faraway Brothers. My name is Kevin, and that's J Mac. If y'all got any songs, whatever, you're an artist, anything, just go ahead and hit us up in the link description. We'll go ahead and try to push out everything as far as possible. Be looking out for the next episode next week. And thank y'all so much for being fans of the Faraway Brothers.
Yeah, and make sure y'all follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. On Twitter, we are the Faraway Brothers. Okay, Faraway Brothers. So follow us at Faraway Brothers on Twitter and follow us at Faraway Brothers. That's BROS on Instagram, and follow us on the SoundCloud. Man, keep on listening. You know, we're going to be posting posting everything up on YouTube as well. So you'll be able to, if you like to listen on YouTube, you can also do that as well. But just stay connected with us. Follow us, like our page on Facebook, Faraway Brothers on Facebook. And just stay tuned because we're going to have more and more coming. And we're trying to build our fan base and want everybody to listen. If you have any topics that you wish for us to talk about, hit us up in the link. Hit us up in the comments down below. And that's about it. Faraway Brothers, man.
We out.